Hey!
Hi.
Woo!
Hello.
All right, well, Deric's more subdued than normal today.
You don't know where my energy is.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe
Oh,
it's
God.
sexual.
Oh, what?
You don't know.
Oh, God, I didn't like that.
For all the listeners of all ages.
Of all, to see your licks, to see you lick your lips. That was for the listeners.
Of all ages.
All right. That's fair, I guess. I don't know. Batman Forever. I watched it.
That's the movie you watched.
That's the movie I watched.
With Val Kilmer.
He
thought it was George Clooney.
The George
and
Clooney one.
Iceman.
Yeah.
It was not.
Nope. I don't know, in my ranking of movies, I don't know whether to put this in the bad category or the so bad it's good category.
Ooh,
yeah.
teetering.
It's teetering. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it should be so bad it's good because I think I'd watch this again. But other times I was like, oh, this is bad. So I don't know. I need more time away from it to put it in a category.
All right, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to put it in that category. How about this category?
Yeah.
Where is it in so far all the Batman movie you've seen?
Batman movies I've seen? Out of all the Batman movies I've seen, definitely the worst.
Well, can you rank them?
Can I rank them?
Real quick, just for the listeners to know, so they know. Because some people are coming in right here.
From top down, top is Dark Knight.
That's okay.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? No. Maybe it's not the worst. Top is Dark Knight. Second, I'll put them 2 and 3, but they're very close. Batman Begins. 3 is Dark Knight Rises.
So 2 is Batman Begins, 3 is Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
And then
4 is this one. 5, Batman vs. Superman. I put this because Batman vs. Superman is firmly bad. This one might be in the it's so bad it's good categgory, which means I enjoy watching it a little more.
Yeah, Batman vs. Superman's like, go kill yourself.
Dude, that one was
whole movie.
Straight bad.
Yeah.
Where this one it might be like, dude, this is retarded. What? First of all,
what did I hit? What did I miss? Let's get into it.
I mean, you hit the ridiculous colors.
What's going on, Tim Burton?
Oh, Tim Burton didn't direct it. He produced it.
That's why his name
Joel Schumacher.
Schumacher did this one.
Yeah.
He's done stuff.
The phone booth.
Yeah.
I've never seen that, but I've heard the premise of that.
I mean, well, you can imagine. It does not take place where you think.
Yeah, so it wasn't Tim Burton, which explains, I guess, the colors. What else did you hit? Oh, the cop at the very beginning in the safe with him?
Yeah.
Super lame.
The lamest guy you've ever seen, right?
Also, what kind of bank safe has acid?
Acid in it.
Yeah. Who's safe deposit boxing acid?
Well, I think he put acid in there. Right?
Okay.
He was going to make it rain on the town. And then he didn't because Batman saved them.
So, yeah, I mean, probably one of the worst villains.
Two-Face?
Yeah.
What do you think of the Riddler?
Riddler is like, I mean, not very good either, but like...
Jim Carrey.
It's Jim Carrey. Yeah, and he's like doing crazy shit. And you know what's crazy about the Riddler? The answers to none of his riddles don't mean anything. They don't, like the match and the clock and all that stuff, they don't provide any hints to where he actually is.
Really anything.
It's just the numbers in the clues, the questions themselves. It's like, oh, these numbers mean something. It's Enigma or whatever the fuck.
It was really
bad. Like none of the riddles he didn't have to be the Riddler. He could have just been some weird guy in a suit, and it would have served the same purpose. You feel me? Like, there's no point. There's nothing specifically Riddler about him.
Yeah, it's really. I don't get any of it. Do you see the blender that he put on people's heads?
Yeah. But why did the Riddler want to kill Batman? He wanted to kill Bruce Wayne, but why does he want to help Two-Face kill Batman? That's never brought up. There's no reason for the Riddler to hate Batman. He only hates Bruce Wayne, and he doesn't know Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, not until later.
Yeah. So why the fuck team up with him?
I don't know.
Right?
That's the first time I've ever critically thought about this movie in any way at all.
Bro.
So I'm like, oh, man.
I mean, you won't even talk about critically. Why would you put the entrance to the Batcave in your foyer? In your, like in the
chair.
Yeah. Or like the entrance is a locked door in front of the main staircase.
Yeah.
What? What are you doing? And then, I mean, the love scene. The love scene.
I knew you were about to bring it up because the love story is just where you're like, come on, man.
What? Wait, you love Batman for no reason. You've had one conversation with him. And then your next conversation with Batman, you love Bruce Wayne, even though he took you to a circus where you almost got murdered.
And a family died.
Yeah, you saw the Graysons die.
The Graysons. They died.
The Graysons die. You see that, and you're like in love with them. First of all, why would you? Okay. I don't go on a lot of dates, so I don't really. I'm gonna start there.
Okay, and one more question: have you been to the circus?
No. Oh yes, I've been to a Cirque du Soleil once.
Okay, so you've been to one Cirque du Soleil. Not a lot of dates.
Regardless, not a lot of dates, right? I personally don't think it's a great place. It's a great idea to take your first date to a circus, but not a normal circus. A circus that literally looks like a nightmare. With these giant goblin statues everywhere.
Yeah, and it's like one small tent.
Yeah.
It's just like one small enclosed. It's like a nightmare version of a circus.
Yeah. With a billionaire who has no security. No one has any security in this movie. Everyone just walks willy-nilly. Are you telling me the Riddler and Two-Face were able to just knock on your door to trick or treat?
He's also kicking everyone's ass in that scene, and no one's like, yo, Bruce Wayne can fight.
Yeah.
No one was like, at least 20 people would have been like, yo, Bruce Wayne was like beating the shit out of
people. Yeah.
Yeah. We beat Bruce Wayne the beater? Dude, like he was beating people up like how Batman beats people up.
Yeah, he was kicking people's ass. Also, it makes no sense as to why the Grayson family was all bunched up together besides Dick.
Well, he
went to go throw out the bomb.
Yeah.
But they should have been off fighting people. They were just all hanging from the roof at the same point.
Yeah. Also, the whole Two-Face things with the coin. It just made me
throws
mad.
coins
it just
at
make
him.
me mad, and that's how you kill him. You throw fucking coins.
You
at
throw
him.
yeah. You think I think I asked you this, but do you think Tommy Lee Jones got this and was like, "This is a bad script," or was he like, "Whatever, dude, I'll take this. I'll be in a Batman."
He was like, "Man, I think some people are like, man, I want to be in a Batman. It's a fucking Batman movie."
Yeah, I get it, but yeah. He was like, "Oh God, what are you doing?" That's how I felt. Every time I saw Tommy Lee Jones, I was like, "What are you doing?"
He's such a great actor.
Yeah, the fuck this. You're this character. You're the only.
Jim Carrey did this. A lot of phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's a good actor. Like, there's good actors in this.
This is the only superhero movie that I've ever seen where the villain's only motivation is to kill the hero. The villain has no other motivation. There's no money he wants to steal. He doesn't care about power, it seems. Doesn't even care about, like, becoming the king of the underworld or whatever. His only motivation is to kill Batman.
Yeah, you did. And that's a great point. There is no other villain like that, where their only motivation, and guys, please send in your villains.
Yeah, because I'm
nerdy motherfuckers.
Because, like, even the Joker's whole point was to just chaos over control.
Yeah.
There was more than just killing Batman. That was a big part of it.
Killmonger was like an uprising and bringing like.
Well, he wanted to become a king.
Yeah, and bring wealth and like just change
Bring
the
wealth to
power.
black people,
bring wealth
yeah.
and change the power. I mean, there was Thanos wants to fucking resources, so you got to kill half the population. I mean, good General Zod in the first Man of Steel. You know, it's about the pureness of like the pure bloods, like the pure race, and keeping the race pure.
But that makes sense.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's on our list.
Yeah.
But anyway. Still.
But yeah, usually villains want more things.
And the hero is in the way.
Yes.
Normally the hero is not the key.
Yeah. The scene where he drives up the wall, where Two-Face pretends to be pushing a baby on the street. It's like, this is unnecessary. There's no need.
For that chase. They needed to use the car. They were like, yeah, we have such a big budget.
Yeah.
They're like, we have so much money on this fucking budget and we didn't spend any of it on the script.
No. They cast the people before they wrote the script, probably, if I had to guess.
About that, I guess because it was like, oh, well, superhero movies weren't good yet. It's like, yeah, but movies were good. They had made good movies.
Yes.
Like a great movies had already come out. So like how the concept of like it's crazy that it took that long to put a good movie on like a superhero movie.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? Commissioner Gordon was a terrible actor.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't in it.
Like, usually, like, even bad actors like the Sid Vex and the 21s, even, like, terrible actors, it's like, okay, if you plugged me in that role, I would probably I could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even me doing my best because I'm not a trained actor, I might land on what they did.
Yeah.
Right? Commissioner Gordon, you plug me in that role, do 100% better than him. 100%.
They didn't even give him like any lines, and he sucked.
He might as well have been reading off a paper.
Yeah, he was bad.
He was terrible.
Forgettable too. He was like, you didn't even know that Commissioner Gordon was like an important person. Not until I seen the real Batmans. That's when I knew, like, Commissioner Gordon's important.
Yeah. This is a real dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh man, I thought this was funny too. So after Robin's parents die, and Robin's like, "I'm only staying here to get social services off my back." And it's like, dude, you're like 25. You're not a kid. They don't give a fuck. You're an adult.
Yeah.
They're not gonna make sure you're okay.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just saying that so the captain would get off my ass.
You're a grown ass man.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. What? I need you to take care of him, Captain. Oh, is he stupid? What? Like what? He's a grown man. He can take care of his shit.
He's old as hell.
Oh, man, it's just.
I know for a Batman movie, bro, it's a motherfucker, dude. I used to love this movie as a kid. That's what was so crazy. I mean,
the bright colors.
Bright colors.
Bright colors. And then Jim Carrey is silly.
Jim Carrey's silly as hell.
Yeah. But it's just bad. I did this one was one interesting thing that I'll sort of leave you with that I thought was funny. So whenever you were describing Two-Face to me, for whatever reason, I thought the other side of his face was fucked up and the other side was normal.
Wait, which side is fucked up? The left or the right?
So if we were looking at the screen, the right side's fucked up.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is the exact opposite of the Two-Face in Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah. So I think which is why I just assumed the left side would be fucked up. And so the whole movie, everything I visualized was flipped.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore was upside down.
Yeah, well, Drew Barrymore, Drew Barrymore, in my mind, actually was a part of the movie. No. They spent so much money on Drew Barrymore for her to do that.
Oh, God, they did. Or was she just making her comeback then?
I don't even know Drew Barrymore's career like that. We were talking about it during the episode, and I was like, we know nothing about Drew Barrymore. Why are we saying this?
To apparently something went wrong to big star. I don't know.
Yeah. So... Send
in your villains, send in your Drew Barrymore stuff.
Yeah. Tell us Drew Barrymore's story, and in a couple weeks I'll come back and tell you what tier of movie I put this in, what category this is in.
It'll come back.
I need some time.
Maybe a season 3 recap.
Yeah,
season 3 recap maybe.
Season 3 recap. You have to put it on me, and I will give you
I'll
an
remember
answer.
this.
All right,
because it'll come back up. Trust me.
All right,
Batman forever.
Well, see you guys in a minute or so.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello, I'm Deric.
I'm Hassan. What's this weird energy?
I just like to sometimes be different.
I guess
because they don't know
that if you don't know that he's Deric and I'm Hassan. Welcome to the first episode that you're watching. I guess. Welcome new listener. I'm sorry that I was about to shit on you for a second.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And you picked I get why you picked this one. This is one of my favorite movies of all time that we're doing legitimately.
We're doing a classic movie.
No, it's just one of my favorite movies of all time. How do you even know what that?
Fair. That's fair. You're right. You like everything. I forgot. You like everything.
I said that about last week's movie.
Yeah, that was Batman Forever. So
for this week, Hassan Jamal Ahmad.
Yeah.
Tell me what happens, and the listeners, what happens in the film Man on Fire.
Oh, I finally get to fucking watch this. Don't do that.
Oh.
Let's see. So it starts with Denzel Washington. And he...
Guy who invented peanut butter.
No.
Oh.
No. That's Eddie Griffin.
Oh. Okay. They look alike.
Yeah. I get it. So Denzel is trying to get revenge on a crime family that wronged him in some way.
Yeah.
Like killed his family. And so he decides to infiltrate them.
Uh-huh. I like it. Yeah.
By being the bodyguard to the daughter. Because there's a crime family. But then he grows a bond with his daughter, and then she gets kidnapped by a rival crime family. Probably drug family. And then a lot happens in like the desert. There's a lot. I remember the desert being in this a lot. I think in the previews. It was all a very dry place for whatever reason. He walks away from explosions. And he gets the daughter back. And, yeah. That's all that happens.
As always. As always.
I don't know. I'm just so excited for this. I wanted to see this when it came out.
In 2004?
Yeah.
I remember
that. I remember that. I remember thinking this movie looks cool as shit.
It's one of the best movies ever.
Dakota Fanning's still around.
No, she's dead. So, sorry to drop that bomb on you before we start. What if she's dead by the time this comes out?
Yeah, oh my God, she's not dead. When we filmed this, she wasn't dead. I'm covering our tracks now because of you.
When we filmed this.
Yeah, she just did The Alienist. She's alive and well.
We think. So the movie starts with a panned shot of Mexico.
Ooh.
Mexico.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We see a couple walking
Mm-hmm.
through a town, like through like the town square kind of like
Right.
that kind of vibe, right? Credits are rolling. It's like flash cuts, like a lot of flash cuts. You hear like bells. And then across the screen it says there is a kidnapping in every 60 seconds in Latin America. 70% of the victims do not survive. Okay, so this movie starts. Man on fire. All right. So a car stops,
Mm-hmm.
right, and this Mexican music starts playing, like, like really gets intense, like like
Yeah.
that. And we see the couple that was walking. We see the teenage boy, not the girl, just the boy.
Yeah.
He gets snatched, thrown in the car. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we see a crew of people, like they all take the kid, like it's a crew, and they're all gone, right? And then you see people like mourning the little kid already,
Right.
like
So
it's like flash cuts, it's all flash cuts.
Mexican kid, white kid.
Mexican,
Mexican.
and Mexican, and the credits are rolling this whole time. Okay. These flash cuts while it's happening, credits are rolling.
Okay.
We see the police like get a call, and like in the family. Like whoever this family of this kid is,
Right.
You don't really see who they are. It's like these are all happening in flash cuts with the credits, And then you hear a voice go, "Family is everything," And then he goes, "Do you love your son?" And the guy's like, "See," and he's like, and then they send him in the flash cuts. You see that they send this guy his son's ear.
Whew.
Okay.
That's rough.
And then he goes, and you hear the voice go, "Do you understand me now?" And the guy's like, see, right?
Yeah.
Still flash cuts to the credits. This shit is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
The shots, all right?
Okay.
And then the guy's like, there's a $10 million insurance policy on your family. I want you to be at this circle, like this circle, those roundabouts?
Right.
Roundabouts? And I want you to, in this specific car, you're going to take off your shirt, a white shirt, and you're going to wave it out the window. You're going to go around twice.
Right.
Okay? So my people can identify you. And then he said, you're going to make sure you come alone. And then, like, this is still happening in flash cuts, right? And he's like, put the money in the trunk of the car. So it's going to show us him putting the money in the trunk. And he's like, you're going to leave. And then he leaves. And then the next shot is the kid getting dropped off in the middle of a busy freeway intersection. He's completely, like, naked, tied up. The kid, earless, blindfolded, right? And then they drop him off in the middle of the intersection and they drive off. And then you hear the voice just go, "And remember, I am a professional." And then the kid's just like, "Ah!" screaming, and he falls to the ground screaming, and no one helps him, and it fades to black. And then it freeze, and then it freeze frame is on the kid screaming, right? And then it kind of fades away. All right? And then you hear like a Mexican guitar, like, dun, dun, dun,
Jesus.
dun, dun, like slowly
Jesus.
build up, right? Like now the movie's starting.
Yeah,
okay?
it's a very funny scene to watch you smile throughout.
Yeah.
Oh God, no one helps him. That's so.
Yeah, no one helps them. People just keep driving.
Hey,
Yeah,
I guess
it's like-
sometimes
yeah,
it's like, man, you just don't ask questions if you live in that
Mexico
part of
City.
the world. Yeah, you're just like, hey, you just gotta keep moving. It's all about surviving.
Ooh, day to day, baby. Yeah,
Hey.
I saw an earless kid on the freeway today.
Hey, this is my third one this week.
So next scene, we see our star, right? And he's Denzel. And he's bearded. He's got shades on. He's got a really scruffy, dirty beard, and he's driving into the Mexican border. Okay,
Right.
And he's drinking a flask. All right, and he's just like watching the city through out a window. It's just beautiful shots of the city and the border and shit. The next scene he's at a barbecue with his friend and he's laughing. And his friend is Christopher Walken.
Oh
Yeah. Okay? Didn't know Christopher Walken was in this, huh?
no!
So Christopher Walken,
Wow, how weird.
right? He has a wife, right? He has a wife in Denzel.
Even weirder. No.
He's not gay?
Yeah.
in everything.
Yeah, I thought in my mind Christopher Walken's just alone all the time. I don't know why.
No, he's with Denzel in this one.
Okay.
So Denzel asks him how's business, and he tells him how what he does is he ferries laborers into these for corporations and shit. That's what he does. You know, and he's like, but lets him live like a king down there. That's what he does for a living, you know?
Right.
And then Denzel, he's drinking whiskey hard, right? And then he's asking him, then Christopher Walken goes, where do you work? And he goes, I was in Colombia, and then I was working in a couple places I can't name. And, now I'm just kind of not doing anything. And then he's talking. The Christopher Walken guy's kind of talking about nothing, and then he interrupts him. He goes, hey, man, do you think God will forgive us for what we did? And then Christopher Walken goes, no. And he goes, yeah, me either. And then he drinks, and then they just move on.
Whew.
Cold scene, dude. Really cold conversation. I loved it.
What'd they do? Cheat on their tests in school?
I think so.
Okay.
Or I think they poopied in their pantsies.
Embarrassing. Hard to come back from that with God.
God,
If we know anything about God, is that he's petty as fuck.
He really is.
Yeah, God is super petty.
So he goes, well, why are you he's like, oh, what are you doing here? He's like, you really just wanted to see me? He's like, yeah, I just wanted to see you. I'm here on an impulse. And he goes, Christopher Walken goes, well, I love impulse. And then they look over at fat asses and they smile.
Nice.
Okay. So nice. The next scene is this brown guy who's a famous singer, and he was married to Jennifer Lopez, and he's an actor. I think he might be still married to Jennifer Lopez.
Was it Mark Anthony?
Yeah, that nigga.
Yeah.
He's in the movie.
Okay.
So he's talking to Mickey Rourke,
Okay.
his lawyer. Mickey Rourke is in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So and he's sparking a cigar, Mickey Rourke, and they're talking about how all the wives around that we work for him, like the wives of people that he works for, they all are beefing up their security because of all these kidnappings, you know, and blah blah blah, and then how he should do it too. And he says he also needs to get the family insurance and all this shit, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
And then he goes, but to get that you have to have a bodyguard first. And then the guy goes, oh well, we just lost our bodyguard. And he goes, well, I mean, and he goes, we just lost our bodyguard. And he's like, I don't really have the money, blah blah. He's like, look, man, you don't have to get somebody with you just gotta get somebody with a decent resume. They don't have to be Superman, you know. He goes, but we just listen. Know that you need to do this now because you don't want everyone knowing you're the only family unprotected in Mexico City, like the only rich family,
Right.
you know, just being unprotected,
Right.
Like because right now everyone knows you don't have a bodyguard,
Right.
Okay, I guess I was like, damn, I guess if at this rate of kidnappings, it would be like,
yeah, like you got that bodyguard.
aware as fuck,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So we see black sedans pulling up, right? And Christopher Walken is telling Denzel about the job, and he's like, don't worry, man. It's all gonna be good. He's like, I know you'll like this. It's just rich guys hiring you for show, you know, to show off how much money they got. You're not gonna have to do anything. And he goes, Denzel's like, yeah, well, I'm a drunk has-been. He takes another sip of his flask, and then he goes, well, he's like, hey, first off, keep it under control. I need you to keep it under control, all right? And then he goes, what if Denzel's like, but what if something happens? He goes, look, try your best. Nobody's expecting you to save everybody's life here. Just do what you can. And he goes, bodyguards talk. I don't fucking want to talk. And he's like, just be the strong, silent type. And then they laugh. All right. So they get to the house, right? And then Denzel asks Chris Walken, he goes, who's the guy? And he goes, a guy named Sammy Ramos. He owns one of the plants in Juarez. I've been shipping in laborers for him. And then he goes, I think he's in a lot of trouble, but he's rich. And so, you know, this is Mexico City, so he needs your help. And he goes, well, why did he go to you? He goes, well, he asked who I could trust, and I said I trust you. And he goes, all right. And then he goes, also, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to talk to, so it makes me happy that you're glad, like, that you're down here.
Right.
Like Chris Walken, so they kind of smile, okay? So next scene, Denzel's clean shaven. And he's driving, the Sammy guy's in the backseat, and the guy goes, hey, so you're going to be the 5th candidate my wife sees this week. Your resume is insane. It's crazy. So I don't understand what's the catch. I'm not paying you that much. And then the guy goes, and then Denzel just goes without blinking, I drink. And then he goes, well, how does it affect you? Slow reaction time, dulled senses. If professionals tried to kidnap your daughter, I probably wouldn't be able to stop them.
Wow, at least he's honest.
Yeah, just
Oh
keep
my
trying,
God.
cold as fuck like that too.
Yeah, there's so many times on my job applications I lied about my Excel skills.
Yeah. Oh, Excel. God, I've been there.
Yeah, right. But this guy probably would just be like, I don't know Excel.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy.
This character.
This
the
character
Denzel
would be
player?
like, if he was like, needed a job, we're like, hey, how proficient are you at Excel? I mean, I have it on my computer. You'd be honest, you know.
He does say that. He says,
I have it. I could Google stuff. I can figure it out.
That's so interesting. He said, "I'll do the best I can." He said, "I probably won't stop him, but I'll do the best I can."
Yeah, I like that.
That's because that's interesting that you said. It's like, oh, that is what he said. He said, "I'll do the best." I forgot he right there. So, he goes. The guy goes, "What if amateurs try?" And he goes, "I'll kill him." And the guy goes, "Okay." Like,
yeah.
all right.
Well, I'm not that rich, so this might have to do.
And he goes, "Well, don't let anyone see you drinking, and that definitely includes my wife." And he looks at him, and Denzel goes, "Copy." All right. So he pulls into this crazy nice mansion, and Dakota Fanning is playing piano. All right.
Okay.
So we meet Dakota, and then he calls in. He goes, "Lisa," and his wife comes in, and his wife is a white woman.
Yes. That's how I imagine that's how you get Dakota Fanning.
Yes, because she's all the way white, even though this guy is brown as fuck.
Yeah. Well, you know, Hollywood. But
She kills it. She's the best part of the movie.
Oh, Dakota?
Yeah, this is Denzel.
All right.
I mean,
this is when she was the child. This is like her child star movie.
Well, I mean, watching her act in this movie, you're like, this movie's so intense, so real. Yet she's killing. You believe her, but we'll get to that. So Denzel, they pull into the mansion, and then the wife comes in, and then she goes, "What's your name?" He goes, "John Creasy," and then she goes, "You're American," and he goes, "So are you?" And then they kind of smile and they shake hands. Well, not smile, but they kind of like acknowledge it, right?
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Would you like a drink?" And then the husband looks at him, and he looks at the husband, and he goes, "Yes." And the husband gets pissed, and she goes, "What do you have?" And he's like, "Jack." He's like, "Jack or whiskey, whatever."
Right.
Like just a whiskey. And then she's like, "Okay." And then she pours something for him.
See, he's honest.
Yeah. And then they go, PETA. They call him PETA. That's the girl's name. And then Dakota Fanning comes in, right? And then she tells her to show Mr. Creasy around, blah, blah, blah. And then he has a drink and he's like, "Thank you." And then she takes Mr. Creasy out and they walk off. And then they look at each other and then they talk for a second, the mom and the dude.
Right.
And then they go, "This is the guy for the job. We like his vibe."
Okay.
And
how old is Dakota? Are we talking 12?
No, we're talking a little kid.
Like before teenager. I'm trying to remember how old she was. Or was she a teenager?
We're talking 12, 11 down, bro.
Okay.
Maybe 12, 11 down, but definitely not 13.
Okay. So not a teenager. So just trying to figure out. Okay.
Little kid.
Okay.
Right? So Dakota is walking around the house and introducing him to all the house workers. Like, here's the gardener, this is this person, that person. And then he's just checking out all the cameras. He's looking around. And then she shows him his room, right? And then where the old bodyguard used to stay. And then she goes, "What kind of music do you listen to?" And he goes, "I don't know." And she goes, "You don't know what kind of music you listen to?" And he goes, "No." And then she's like, "Okay." And then he goes, he's looking at this bird. And she goes, "That's Bird." He looks at it, he smiles. He goes, "Okay." And then she's like, "Well, I'll leave you alone. Bye, Mr. Creasy." And he goes, "Just call me Creasy." She goes, "Oh no." She goes, "Do you protect a lot of kids, Mr. Creasy?" He goes, "It's just Creasy and no." And she goes, "Huh. Well, bye, bye, Creasy." And he goes, "Bye."
All right.
And then they walk off. So it's now her in bed with her mom, in her bed, and her mom's tucking her in.
Right.
And then the mom's like, "If you get a dog, will you give up this teddy bear? Because I think you're getting too old for him." Then she puts a teddy bear down with her. And then the kid's like, maybe, right? And then she goes, "So do you like Mr. Creasy?" And then she goes, "It's just Creasy." And then she goes, "Huh." And then she's like, "Well, he's a lot like Bear." She said, "He's a lot like a bear." And she goes, "What do you mean?" She's like, "A big sad bear." And then she goes, "Do you think he's sad?" She goes, "I think. Or something's going on with him." Right? The kid's just so cute.
Well,
right?
Yeah, well, also the kid's really in tuned.
Really in tune.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Huh." And she goes, "Well, good night, honey." And then she goes, "Good night, Mom." And then the mom leaves and she goes, "Good night, Bear. Good night, Creasy Bear." And then she kisses the bear. Okay?
Right.
So Denzel is upstairs cleaning his gun, right? And he's working on pulling it out, and he's drinking heavy. He's just pounding shots of whiskey.
Right.
And he keeps doing this, just flash cuts to him doing this, right? And then he's doing the popping the bullet out the thing and trying to catch it, and he's not being able to do it because he's drunk. Yeah. And he's just all in his head, and you can just see he's kind of fucked up, right?
Right.
So
him and Walker must have done some fucked up shit.
Oh, bro. So
God.
this movie.
Yeah.
So the husband is downstairs lighting a bunch of candles, and he's praying to a Mexican god, right? And
wait, God, or what's a Mexican god? Yeah.
Oh, but one of those
was it
Guadalupe gods?
Okay, so like
Guadalupe, the patron saint of Guadalupe, is Guatemala sauce.
so like a saint? He's praying to a saint, or he's praying to like Jesus in a fucking
praying to a
sombrero. Like, what do you mean? What's a
praying to a
Mexican
saint.
god? Okay.
A Mexican god to me is like all the candles with the saint is like, oh, it's some kind of Mexican god.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody's got their gods.
Not even gods. Not even. Full step down on the corporate ladder from gods. Just like saints. That's under God for sure.
I like the corporate ladder.
Corporate ladder. Yeah.
The corporate god ladder.
Yeah, like a priest is like your assistant, like your regional manager, your manager. You work your way up.
Ooh.
Like bishop is like a
Patron
district,
saint's pretty high
district manager. Yeah. You're like you oversee probably countries and shit. Yeah, I don't know, like a CFO. I don't know. How,
CFO.
I don't know how corporate ladders work, and I don't know how religion works. So I'm in a weird place right now.
Don't take my word on anything.
Yeah.
I just said I'm religious.
Yeah, you know, like take everything I just said with a grain of salt. So, anyways, he's speaking to his Mexican gods.
Okay, yeah. Oh, he's praying to Mexican gods. How do we get there?
Yeah.
And the wife walks up and she says how Peter likes Creasy, and he brushes it off and he goes, well, Peter loves everything. And then she goes, are you okay? And he goes, I just don't know. Money, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, but honey, I'm trying to make things work for us. And then the wife takes off her robe and gets on top of him for sexy time.
Okay.
And it fades to black.
All right. What does he do again?
Owns
Owns a plant?
Plant.
Okay. So he's not like into illegal shit.
No.
Is he?
No, he's not
All
into
right.
He just owns a plant. But I mean, he is rich. I mean, they're clearly very wealthy.
Okay.
So the next morning, Denzel wakes up and he's like early and he's like planning routes to school, and the bird keeps annoying him.
Yeah.
So he sets it free. Okay. So he's driving Peter to school, and then she notices burns all on his hands. Right.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to talk to him, but he's not fucking having it.
No.
Okay. And then she's like, "Are you gonna stay? My last bodyguard left for more money." And then he doesn't say anything. And then she goes, being black, is that a positive in Mexico or a negative? Very in tune question.
That's a good question.
Very good question.
Now I'm curious.
No, being a black bodyguard, is that a good thing in Mexico or a bad thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then he doesn't answer. And then she goes, 20. She tells him that 24 kids were abducted last week in Mexico City. That's 4 a day. And then he goes, he's looking at her now. He's like annoyed. He's like, yeah, 4 a day? Right? And she goes, yep. And he goes like, I think you know a little too much. And then she's like, smiles. And then he drops her off at school, right? And then he takes her in and he's like checking her in because he has to do all the things.
Right.
Which makes sense. It's like a private school.
Right.
Like a everybody's dressed like in the Catholic outfit. Kind
Yeah,
of,
everyone has uniforms.
Nuns everywhere. That kind of school.
Security.
Okay? Yeah. And then he walks in, and then a Sister Anna walks up, and he's like, Sister Anna, this is Creasy. And then she's like, oh, this is the headmistress. And she's like, well, bye, Creasy. And she's like, Sister Anna's like, get to class. You're going to be late, Peter. And then she looks at Creasy. She goes, you must look after Peter. She's missed school, and she's been late lately, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I'm sorry. I'm just getting used to the rules and the routes and everything. It won't happen again. And then she goes, I regret your profession exists. And he goes, I do too. Trust me. And then she goes, well, do you see the hand of God in what you do? And then he goes, no. And then she says a quote, and then like a Bible quote, and then he finishes it for her. And then she looks at him, and then he says the whole quote again in Spanish. And then he goes, I'm the sheep that got lost, Madre. And then he walks away. Cold as fuck. Oh, Denzel's acting in this, by the way. I haven't said that yet.
Wait, Denzel's a good actor?
Unreal how good he is in this movie. Me and Sam have never seen this, so she's just crying and locked in the whole movie like, oh, what the fuck is the movie? Because Trey's seen it, but he was just like, right when he saw what it was, he was like, no. Oh, no. I was like, yeah, I'm about to fuck Bob up today.
Oh, God, I'm about to get fucked up.
This movie is so just shot well and just all the things. I've never said this before, but cut well.
You've never said that in this podcast.
Edited because I was just paying attention, like, oh, I love how this was cut with they're fast cuts, but it's not sloppy. It's smooth and in the
so every cut is purposeful. And it's
but it's fast. It's fast.
Okay,
you know what I mean? But you'll see when you see it. See if you see what I mean.
Okay.
So where are we at?
So he says the dope thing in Spanish, the dope Bible verse. Very Book of Eli to just know the Bible like that.
Yeah. So this Blue Bayou song starts playing in the background. And he's like shopping and looking at CDs, and it's like, I'm going back someday. It's a really classic song.
Okay.
In Blue Bayou, and he's looking at the CD of the lady who sings the song, right? And then next shot, he's picking up Peter from school, and she's asking him nonstop questions, and he's just going, I don't remember, I don't know, you know what I mean? And then she goes, you don't remember, like, he's like, did you like school? And he goes, I don't remember. And she goes, well, did you like it? Why don't you remember? Blah, blah. He goes, well, it wasn't like yours. There was no sister Anna. And then she goes, well, were you unhappy? And he goes, happiness is a state of mind, Peter. And then he goes, I just don't remember. And then she goes, well, what happened to your hands? Because she notices the burn marks on his hands again. All that shit. And he goes, it's a birth defect. And she goes, you're lying. And then he goes, look, no more questions. And then she asks another thing. And then people come up and the cuts are happening quicker and quicker. For this shot especially. And then it makes everything feel like something bad. You know when you feel like something bad's
about to happen? Yeah.
Constantly you're on edge the whole movie too.
Okay,
because that's what I mean. It's just like really cut like,
any moment it could start to go down.
It's about to pop off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you also know with the kidnapping thing, they let you know, yo, I like a movie like that too. Like, yo, you know what's about to happen, but
you don't know when.
And we're going to sit you on pins and needles.
Right.
You know what I mean? So while this is happening, he's arguing with her. A bunch of guys come up and start cleaning his windows. He's like, no. And he got his hands on his gun. He's like, hey, get off my window. You know, no, get off the windows. No bueno. No. You know, like that shit. And then she's like, and then she keeps asking him questions. And he's like, listen, you need to understand, I'm not, like some toy. I'm not some plaything. I'm not your friend. I'm here to protect you. That's it. I'm your bodyguard. And then he goes like, this is a job. Do you understand this, Peter? This is a job. And he's like, get off my windows. And then she gets out of the car. And he's like, wait a minute, Peter. And he gets out too. And then flash cut. And then she gets in the back seat. And then he's like, and then everybody gets away. And then it kind of calms down. And then he puts the gun back in. And then he just drives home. You know what I mean? And she's just in the back seat. You know? But it gets intense as fuck.
Jesus, come on. She gotta be smarter than that. But I get you're like 12, but
yeah,
Jesus.
You're getting yelled at by some fucking guy that you met him yesterday.
Yeah.
He's yelling at you. Like, he's yelling at her.
Yeah, I guess that is a kid reaction.
Yeah. But I think she's not even 10, bro. She's a little kid.
Okay.
So Denzel is in his room chilling, right? And then someone knocks and he hides his bottle in the whiskey that he was clearly drinking.
Right.
And then the wife comes in and she's like, hey, I'm just checking in on you, wondering if you need anything. He's like, no, I'm good. She goes like, I noticed you didn't eat. He goes, yeah, I'm just not hungry. And she's like, you read the Bible? And he's like, sometimes. And she's like, well, does it help? And he goes, sometimes. And then she's like, well, can I talk to you for a second? And he's like, yeah. And she sits down with him. She's like, well, how are things going with Peter? He goes, good. As soon as she learns I'm not a new toy and I'm just here to protect her, I think things will go great. And she goes, yeah, she told me about that. And then she goes, she just wants to be your friend. And he goes, well, you're not paying me to be your friend. You're paying me to protect her. And then she goes, and then he goes, look, maybe this isn't going to work out. You got to talk to your husband and just hire somebody with better social skills. I'm not the guy for this. Right. And then she goes, no, you're right. You're being paid to protect her, not to be her friend. She's like, I'm confident you're going to do that. And then he looks at her and then she goes, but I'm coming with you tomorrow. And then she slams the door and walks in, which I love. She was great. The mom, by the way, is great because she's just such a mom in it of like, I like that your vibe and I like that you are talking about doing your job, but I'm still on my daughter's side. Yeah, you motherfucker. I loved it. Is the mom someone I'd recognize? I recognized her and I thought she was somebody, but I looked up her name and she's nobody.
Okay.
But you've seen her and stuff. I can't even tell you what.
Okay. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, you said it doesn't track by any sort of logic if you break it down. But whatever. I get what you mean.
So he's upstairs, right? And he's playing the Linda Ronstadt Blue Bayou song on repeat, right?
Right.
And he's drinking heavy, like just pounding a whole bottle of whiskey. You see him shot after shot after shot. And it's just a flashback in his own head of what happened with Christopher Walken kind of stuff. But you don't see it. You just kind of hear gunshots and like people dying and shit like that, right? And then you hear him talking to Christopher Walken. He's like, yo, I'm tired of killing. I can't fucking kill anymore. Like you just hear, and then like intense shit. Like, and he's drinking and he's putting the gun in the mirror, looking at himself, and he's fucked up. And he's like drooling drunk, and he's just, and he keeps doing popping the thing out the holster and like pulling it out and like
keep going
in and flashback, right? And it keeps happening, and the music's just getting intense with the Blue Bayou song playing. It's a sad song, you know?
Right? Okay.
Slow, sad song, and he holds the gun up to his head and he fucking pulls the trigger to kill himself, and it doesn't go. Right? The music stops. And everything stops. And then he pulls it out and he checks the bullet and he's looking at it and it's raining and he goes outside in the rain and he calls Christopher Walken. And Christopher Walken wakes up and he's like, yo, hello? Hey, Crease. He's like, hey, what's wrong? And then he's like, Crease goes, hey man, I'm so sorry to wake you. But you ever have a 9mm round not go off? And he goes, yeah, failure to fire, And he goes, he goes, yeah, you pull the trigger and nothing, right? Just nothing happens. And he goes, yeah, it's probably a bad primer, just you got to clean it. What are you talking about, Crease? What's going on? And he goes, yeah, just bad primer maybe. Fuck. And then he's quiet, and then Christopher Walken goes, a bullet always tells the truth. He goes, yeah, I know.
Ooh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Denzel's looking at the bullet, and he goes, Crease, you okay? He doesn't say anything. He goes, Crease, what were you shooting at? He goes, I gotta go, man. I'm so sorry I woke you. He goes, no, it's okay. I was watching TV, But you okay? I just want to make sure you're okay. He goes, yeah, I'm sorry. And then he hangs up. Christopher Walken's awesome, by the way. Just a great friend to this.
Yeah.
You see, he just knew. He already knew immediately what was going on and didn't even say it out loud because he knew. Just asked him, what were you shooting at? You know what I mean? But it was like the way he does, everyone in this movie, by the way, is phenomenal actor. I mean, I guess, I named Christopher Walken, Mickey Rourke. Acting's phenomenal in this.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah. So Denzel is standing in the rain, right? And Peter's looking down on him and watching this the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he looks up and then he puts the bullet in a matchbox and then puts it away. Okay.
Right.
So the next day they're in the car, quiet. The mom's in the back. They're on the way to school. And then they get tailed by the car from the beginning of the movie. Remember the car that kidnapped that kid in the beginning of the movie? So that car.
Oh, shit.
It's a flash cuts in the beginning, but you notice that it's enough flash cuts to that car that you wouldn't notice it, but you notice it now that it's back.
Right.
You're like,
right.
oh, that's the car.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So as you see him following,
So these guys are professional kidnappers.
yeah, and you see the guys in the car. It's like, oh, those are the same guys. You know what I mean? And then Denzel, he spots it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like after one turn, he's like, oh, they're tailing us. And then he goes, Peter, do you have a pencil? And he's looking at the license plate number and he starts trying to write it down. And he's trying to get it, And then Peter notices that he's doing that, and then she turns and you see her really quick write something. Okay.
Well, don't look at me like that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, fucking Captain Foreshadow over here.
Well, I mean, also, it's just like, it's not even Captain Fortune. You see her do it.
Yeah. That's fair.
So as he's writing it down, he's almost getting the whole thing. He almost gets in a car wreck, and then the car tailing him speeds off right by him, right?
Right.
And then the mom doesn't even notice, and she just goes, "Oh, traffic here is crazy," and just keeps reading whatever she's reading, And then he looks confused a little bit, trying to see the thing, and then he drops her off and then leaves, right?
Right.
So next scene, he's watching her at swim practice, okay, and he's looking like he's watching her, and then she dives in, and then you tell he looks interested, like. What's going on here? And then you see her swimming. She's good. She kicks in high gear, and she doesn't win, but she comes in third or fourth-ish.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it does that 10 kids,
Mm-hmm.
And then she does well. And then he goes to the end of the pool where she's at, and he goes, "You're a strong swimmer." And then she goes, "Oh, I never win." And then he helps her out, and then she's pissed. She doesn't talk to him. She storms off, right?
Right.
Until it bothers her. And so they're in the car, and they're driving again. She goes, "So what do I have to do?" And he goes, "Well, what do you think you should do?" And then she's quiet and kind of looks out the window. And he goes, "Well, you're the fastest in the water and the slowest out the blocks." And she goes, "I need to get faster out the blocks." And he goes, "Okay." And she goes, "Oh, but I'm slow." And he goes, "You're not slow." She goes, "I've never finished better than third. I've never finished better than third." And he goes, "Yeah, you're slow." And then she laughs. And then right then they get to the house, right? And then the bird is back. And then she goes, "How did it get out?" And he's looking at it. And then she goes, "You set it free, didn't you?" And then he he doesn't smile. He just kind of looks at her. And he goes, "Yeah, well, he came home." And then and then she smiles and she says, "Oh, good night, Creasy." And then the Blue Bayou song starts playing. "I'm going back someday. Blue Bayou." All right. So the next scene, the mom and dad are going to Detroit. They go in there saying bye to Peter.
Okay.
And they're like, "I love you, blah, blah, blah."
I don't know why you wouldn't just take your kid out and go to Detroit where they don't kidnap like this.
For business or whatever. Business, but I don't know. The wife doesn't work. But they're leaving the daughter, okay?
Right. They're trying to get their kid kidnapped.
And then as they're pulling away, the mom says, "Oh, I hate leaving her like this." And then the dad looks back at her, right? From the car window. Okay?
Yeah.
So the next scene.
Classic movie stuff.
Right? That's why I love it.
That's classic movie stuff.
So the next scene.
Yeah.
Denzel's rubbing bricks behind her head, right? And she's got her swim stuff on and she's on the diving board at her pool.
Right.
And he's rubbing the bricks behind her. And then he's telling her, he's like, concentrate, eyes forward, focus, bang! And then he snaps him and then she goes, "Ah." He goes, "What happened?" And she goes, "I flinched." He goes, "You flinched. You flinched." And she's like, "I'm sorry." And then he's like, I need you to say it. The gunshot holds no fear. Say it. She's like, the gunshot holds no fear. Louder. The gunshot holds no fear. Louder. The gunshot holds no fear. And then he goes, you need to understand, you are a prisoner on this block until the gunshot sets you free.
Ooh.
I know. Dude, the movie's awesome.
Ooh, what a line. A plus.
Like, you're right.
A plus.
For a swimmer, I was like, that sounds great.
Yeah,
that would be how the gunshot should feel. It should be like,
this should be the moment you could be you finally.
You're finally, it's holding you back. The gunshot sets you free. You shouldn't be scared of it. You should like embrace it, you know? And then she's like, okay. And then he goes, all right, again, bang. And then she dies. And then they're just working on it, right? So
that'd be great if every comedy set started with a gunshot. Bang! So my parents were mean to me. Yeah.
So funny. So next scene, she goes, Creasy? He goes, yeah. And she goes, what's a concubine? And then he goes, why you ask? And then she's like, it's in my history book. And then he tells her about it. He talks about marriage and this very cute scene, right? And he's trying to answer it like
the cute concubine scene.
Yeah, he's trying to answer it in like
a cutesy way.
Yeah, in a not sexual way. Mm-hmm. And then she kind of makes him. She says something that kind of makes him laugh because he goes, it's like having 1,000 wives or whatever. And then she goes, could you imagine having 1,000 of my moms? And then he kind of smiles. And then she goes, Creasy. He goes, what? She goes, you're smiling. He goes, no, I'm not. She goes, yeah, you are. I made you smile. He goes, no, you didn't. And then she's like, yeah, I just made you smile just now. She goes, no, and then they're going back and forth. And then he's like, that's not a smile. And then he makes her laugh and she smiles. He goes, that's smiling. Mm-hmm. And then they play like the smiling game, like who will smile first. And then he kills her at it, right?
Yeah.
You know? And then right then he went to see, I won. And then she goes, but look right there. And then he's like kind of smirking. And he goes, no, that's a smirk. That's not a smile. And they're kind of laughing. Now they're just like, you can like, oh, just
they're bonding.
They're bonding.
This is good classic bonding stuff. Yeah.
Good bonding stuff, you know? And then right outside, they back to a montage of them working on swimming. You know, bang, and she's diving in, bang, diving in, bang, diving in. You know, and then it's just beautiful shots of it too. And it's not cheesy in any way.
Right.
You believe it. You literally feel them becoming cool, and you're rooting for her as a swimmer and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
Great shots of it. It's just really well done. So finally, the parents come back.
Okay. Oh.
I know.
Oh, they made it back from Detroit with the kid still there.
And they have a cute puppy.
Ooh.
And she freaks out. And she's like, oh, what's his name? And she's like, oh, we're going to call him Sam, just like Daddy. And so you're like, oh, Sam. She hugs him. And then it's cut to, and Creasy's helping her with her homework still. And then she goes, she asks if he has a girlfriend. And then she goes, hey, you're supposed to be studying history. And she goes, I am. Creasy history. And then he smiles. And then right then the mom walks in and says, hey, Creasy, I need to get my hair done tomorrow. Do you mind, after dropping her off, taking me? And he's like, yes, ma'am. And then the next scene, they're working on more swimming, right? And all the employees of the house are watching.
Right.
And it's just another montage of them just working on the swimming thing and like just diving off, and he's giving her tips and all this shit. And then finally she beats her best time, like across the house pool.
Right.
And then she's freaking out. She jumps out. She's like, Creasy, I did it. He goes, that's right, you did it. She goes, I'm tough. And he goes, no such thing as tough. There's trained and untrained. Which one are you? And she goes, trained. Which one are you? Trained. That's right. You ready for tomorrow? Let's do it. All right. Next scene, they're at the big meet. Dude, there's so many great lines in this. Are you trained or untrained? There's no tough. I look, because tough is such a great thing. It's usually a great thing.
It's what you kind of want to be.
And they're like, no, fuck that. That's how when you're beyond tough. Everyone could be that. Are you trained or untrained?
It's a good
Period.
Line. Good line. Good line. A+ line so far. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the lines in this.
Great writing. I don't know who wrote this, but great writing.
Congrats.
We critique that a lot.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I've noticed we critique is like, yo, can you write a fucking movie?
It's hard, apparently.
It's very hard, apparently.
Yeah.
So at the big meet, they're at the big meet, and he's looking at her. She's like, I'm nervous. He's like, hey, no smiling. She's smiling. He's like, you want to win? She goes, yeah. He's like, do you want to win? He's like, yeah, then smilers don't win. He's like, winners don't smile. You can't be smiling. And she was like, okay. And then she tells him, she's like, can you stand at the finish line when I'm there? And he's like, of course I'm going to be there. She's like, okay. And then right then Sister Anna walks up, and then she says, I'm sad her parents aren't here, but at least you're here because today you're her father. And then he kind of like looks at her like, what the, And then right then she gets in the block and the music stops and it gets all quiet. And then right then, poof, gang. And then she dies. And the gun goes off, she dies, right? And then she's fucking on it. Like she's fucking kicking it. And then she jumps and gets the lead. And she's holding the lead and you see him kind of start smiling. And then he kind of follows her to the end. And then she gets all the way in. And then bang, she wins. Everybody goes crazy, right? It's like it's a big meet.
Right.
A lot of people. And everybody's going crazy. And then she gets out the pool. And then she's like, oh my God, Crazy, I won. And then she just jumps on him and she's hugging, and it's like a slow-mo shot of like him hugging her, like she's smiling and she's just like this, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good scene. That's nice.
Oh yeah. Next shot.
She's about to get her ass kidnapped.
This bitch better get kidnapped.
Yeah.
So they're out to eat with Christopher Walken right after the swim meet, okay?
Yeah.
And he's telling us, Denzel's telling him a story about how, when they were young. No, Christopher Walken's like, we were young, gonna take over the world, And then Denzel interrupts him, and then one day I get a call, and then he looks at him, and then he goes, "What'd you say?" And Christopher Walken was like, "I'm in love." He's like, "Yeah." And then what'd you say? He's like, "I'm moving to Mexico. I love this woman." Blah blah blah. And this is how basically he didn't say it, but this is how his friend got out of the killing.
Yeah.
His friend fell in love.
Okay.
Okay, but they're telling her this, but you're piecing together like, oh, okay, this is how he separated. Like they separated. All right.
Okay.
And he goes, I'm in love. And then he's like, I couldn't believe him. And so I came out to Mexico and I had to meet her. And then I met his wife, Anna, and the wife's sitting there and she's smiling at him. And he's like, and I got it immediately. Right when I saw them together, I was like, I just knew. Okay. And then they're looking at each other. She's like, oh, thanks, Greasy. And then he goes, can I give her a kiss? And then he goes, oh, of course. And then he gives her like a kiss on the cheek. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And then they all like laugh.
Yeah.
And then right then the Dakota girl, she's smiling. She's so cute. She goes, well, I guess this is a better time than ever. And then she pulls out a little bear.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's like, and she's like, I got you something. And then he grabs it and he opens it and it's a necklace inside and he pulls it out. He's like, what is this? And then she says, it's St. Jude, the patron saint of lost causes. I got it for you, Creasy. And then you can see he lights up. Denzel's such a good actor, dude, because he lights up without showing it.
That's a very on point gift.
For this ex-CIA
yeah, whatever the fuck.
killer machine, probably.
Yeah,
We don't know what he is.
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
Drinking maniac. Yeah. So, but just the acting of this shot where he shows so much with so nothing. Little. Yeah. Dude. Because you see him, like, you see it behind the eyes, but he doesn't, because he's this guy. He's like, but he's like, thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, And then he loves it. He smiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next scene, he's pulling out the bottle and he's about to have another drink.
There's a lot more pages without her being kidnapped than I thought there would be.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
This is a good movie, bro. This is like, legit.
Yeah.
This is a good fucking movie. And you never are like, you're on pins and needles, but you're never like, oh, this is taking forever. You know what I mean? You're just like, when is, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, well, when is it coming? Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. So he pulls out the bottle to drink alone, right?
Yeah.
And then he stops himself and he puts it away. And then he grabs the Bible next to it and he starts going through his Bible, okay? Downstairs, the dad is working on his golf swing, okay? And then Peter comes and she goes, Dad, can I talk to you? He goes, sure, sweetie. And she goes, I don't want to play the piano. I'm a swimmer. I want to swim. And then he goes, Peter, instructor Gonzalez, such and such, this very famous piano instructor, did this, did that, agreed to instruct you personally. You're going to his class. And she's like, oh, I don't want to play piano. And he goes, and she storms off and he grabs her and he goes, I love you. You know that, right? She goes, yeah. She goes, I promise I only want what's best for you. And she goes, okay. And then he kisses her and she goes off. So the next scene, she says how she's talking to Denzel on the way to class, piano class, right? And she's like, I'm gonna break all my fingers because then I don't have to play, but at least I can still fucking swim. She doesn't say fucking, but And he laughs and he's like, he's like, don't be a crybaby. You're better than that. You go through this. You can do this.
Right.
And then she was like, she tells him that she's just kind of talking and she goes, you remember that one day that you wanted to get the license on the number? Well, I got the whole license. I never told you that, but I did. And he's just kind of listening. And then he kind of interrupts her and he goes, hey, can you belch? And she goes, what? He's like, belch, can you burp? And she goes, yeah. And then she does it and he's like, laughs. He's like, oh my God, you're gross. And she laughs. And he goes, well, this is what you're going to do. Every couple of minutes with this famous instructor guy, I want you to do just that. And trust me, this guy, he's such a famous, high-class, uppity dude. He's going to be so disgusted with you, you're going to be back in the pool within 24 hours.
Right.
And then she's like, all right, cool, I can do that, and they kind of smile and like dap up, And then he drops her off. And then right as he drops her off, she picks a nice yellow flower out of the bush and puts it on his thing. And then the famous guy comes out and he goes, 1 hour. And then he's like, see. And then he takes out Sam, takes him for a walk. And then he's like listening. And then he comes back and he's listening to her play. And then she's belching and he's just kind of laughing. And like he hears, the guy's like, Pita. She says, sorry. And then beautiful playing. And then, PETA, and he like smiles again, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful shot. And then he's just kind of playing fetch with the dog, and it's beautiful shots of him just kind of looking out, playing, you know, Mexico's just, you know, observing it. And then his dog gets into it with another dog, and then he goes and he breaks that up, and then he takes the dog on another walk.
Yeah.
You know, just very beautiful, long, kind of slow shots.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then he puts the dog in the car, right? And he's putting the dog in the car. And
Oh God, it's about to start. It's about to go down. I could feel it.
okay, he puts the dog in the car, right?
Yeah.
And then right then a cop car drives by. Okay. And then he sees the cop car, and then he's stuck as the cop car stops, and then the cop car goes in reverse.
Right.
And he notices that. And he closes the door, the dog in the car, and then the cop car like turns and blocks itself on the street. Like you know, like nobody can now get, you know,
Right.
go anywhere.
Right.
And then he's like, what the fuck? And then he notices something else. Like he just kind of starts noticing stuff gets like the flash cuts start happening really fast again.
Right.
He hears his heart start beating. The music gets really increases, really intense. It's out of nowhere. And then he sees the car again out in like slow motion. He sees the car again from earlier. You know, he sees it and now it's coming up. And then right then, as that's coming out, as the car comes up, he sees PETA coming out of the class. Like perfectly timed. And he's just like, and he sees the cops getting out their cars with their guns already out. And then he's like, what the, you know? And then right then he grabs his gun, and then no music, just silence. And then she comes out, she completely is now out. She looks up, and now she's kind of noticing what the fuck's going on. And he goes, PETA, you know, PETA. And then he shoots in the air, and then everything like stops, and he goes, run. And then right then a guy shoots him right in his chest. He fucking takes it like a beast, turns, takes it and turns with it, shoots a guy right in the head, you know, shoots one right in the head. PETA's now screaming, ah, you know, everyone, of course, now just chaos on the streets, you know, people are running, and he's looking, he ducks behind a car, shoots, kills another guy.
Ooh.
Okay? He's just a cold-blooded, it's like cold shit.
Yeah.
Then they start shooting at him. People are shooting at him, and then he takes it. He's like, and then he takes another shot, like a one on the side, right? You know, and then he's like hiding behind a car, and then he's still shooting at other people, and then finally he kills another guy. You know?
Yeah.
And then he's looking around. He's telling PETA to run, and PETA is just looking, of course, like just crying and screaming because she's a fucking 11-year-old.
Yeah. She's a kid.
Crying and screaming. And then right then one of the cops on the ground, he sees a cop that's on the ground, right? And right when he notices him, he shoots him in the head, but right then he gets shot right in the heart. right dead center, you know? Oh. And then he drops his gun, goes down, and then she's like, crazy! And of course he falls and she runs into him, you know? And she comes up on his body, and then now he's, you know, like convulsing.
Yeah.
You know? And she like he goes out of conscious, you know, and then she screams his name one last time, crazy, and then that car pulls up from earlier, grabs her up on top of his body, speeds off, fades to black. Doot.
He survives that.
Heart monitor's beeping, bro. Ooh. Right, comes back in.
Ooh, that's
he's
wild shit,
unconscious like Kill Bill style in the hospital, you know.
Right.
There's cops all surrounding him, and there's flash cuts again of cops saying how he's under arrest for being a cop killer and how he's the prime suspect in the kidnapping of PETA, whatever, you know. So, you know, they're clearly already framing him. Yeah. And so right then a reporter raises her hand and goes, one question: the two cops who were killed. Because he killed two cops. He goes, two cops who were killed. It says in the report that they were off duty, yet they were both in their patrol car in full uniform. And they were there. And then the guy goes, oh, you know, they you know, that's because, you know, he says like some bullshit reason. And then she goes, oh, one more question. Also, they were at the scene of the kidnapping, and they just happened to be there, and they've been at the scene of a couple kidnappings, right? And then right then another guy, like a cop guy behind her, goes, and these two cops have a horrible reported past for like being involved with like inner organized crime.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then the head cop like brushes it all off, right?
Right.
And then right then the cop who said that squeezes the reporter's ass, and then she kind of like makes a mean face, and he kind of winks at her, and he walks off.
Okay.
Okay?
which very weird set of events that just happened there.
So people go back to asking the cop questions, right? And then they go back to the house,
Right.
the actual house, like, you know, and then there's cops all over the house and like crime people and detectives all over the house.
And crime people.
Yeah, crime people.
Yeah.
And there's sad music playing and the mom is just crying, like holding a teddy bear, just
Right.
like bawling, you know? The Mickey Rourke lawyer is asked to talk to the dad alone, and the dad is just panicking, right? And he goes,
Right.
relax, Sammy, relax. He goes, I know she's your little girl, but everything's going to be all right. You got to, you know, everything's going to be okay? And then right then they go, so he gets a call. And no, right then a guy goes, Senor Ramos, and a big guy comes in, and it's not Pablo Escobar. And
oh, thank you. I was thinking, oh man, hopefully Pablo Escobar shows up in this.
And he goes, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And he hugs the guy and he goes, my name is Victor Fuentes. And he goes, anti-kidnapping division. You know, I'm the head of it. And he says how 2 cops were killed during your daughter's kidnapping. We got to make sure, you know, I'm just here for internal affairs to make sure things are blah, 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 right? Mm. And then the guy says how the kidnapper will want you to deliver the money alone. Don't do that. If you do that, you're never going to see Peter alive again. And the guy goes, okay. So right then it cuts to walking. He's outside the hospital and he's waiting for the cops to leave to like go on a break so he can sneak in. He sneaks in and then he goes, Creasy. Creasy tries to wake him up. And then the cop guy who pinched the lady's ass from earlier, he comes in and he goes, who are you? And then Creasy, the guy, Chris Walken goes, who are you? And he goes, I'm the director of AFI, like a head of internal affair, cop, whatever. And then the guy goes, and he's like, who are you? And he goes, I'm Rayburn. He goes, Rayburn. And then it ends. And then at the house, they get a call, right? And so now all the cops are like hitting all the buttons to like tap the wire of the call, And the kidnapper goes, hola, do you love your daughter, Senor Ramos? And he goes, yes, I do. And you want to see her again? Yes, please. Well, if you do as I say, she'll be back to you, no problems. And then back at the hospital, Rayburn is telling Creasy how he killed 4 guys, and he goes, and it's been 2 days, Crease, and they're negotiating terms to get her back right now. It's gonna be all right. And then right then, Creasy looks like he's about to die, and he goes, "Don't you fuck with me, stay alive," And then right then you hear the guy go, "You have the 10 million, you have the 10 million in cash." And he goes, "Yes, we have the money." He goes, "Well, you do as I say, and she will return to you. And if you deviate from my plan in any way, to the Virgin Guadalupe, you will never see her again." And then the guy goes, I pray to the Virgin Guadalupe too, please, just don't kill my daughter. I'm so sorry, please. And then right then the lawyer guy grabs the phone and he goes, look, the dad's a little panicked. He's hard for him to handle this. I'll do the talking from here. Look, we got the 10 million in cash. He starts listing all the demands, right? And he says how they're going to do it. And so they show the dad take off his shirt, go around the circle, wave it, like the thing from earlier.
Right.
They want to go to a payphone. He'll tell them where it is. On top of the payphone will be a map. There will be instructions. Follow them precisely. No phones. So they're doing all this stuff, and then he gets back in the car, and the guy tells him that he's going to bring up the Victor Fuentes guy with him because he just doesn't he tells the voice guys like how you can't handle it by himself, blah, blah, blah. Just let him have somebody. He agrees.
Okay.
But when he gets in the car, the Ramos guy, he goes, the Victor Fuentes guy has a phone. He goes, hey, he said no phones. He said no phones. He goes, relax. He won't know. No phones. He goes, he said no phones, right? So now they're pulling off, okay? It cuts back to the hospital, and Creasy is being moved. They're moving him.
Right.
And Rayburn's asking the detective guy, why are you moving him? He goes, hospitals are very dangerous for cop killers. We got to move him, trust me. And then right then, they have Sammy dropping off the money in the trunk of a car. And then you hear the voice guy on the voiceover go, and after you drop off the money, do not look back, Senor Ramos. And then right then, a guy walks up on the trunk of the car, the money he dropped, and he goes, hey, what's going on here? And you see the guys like that are supposed to be with the guy to come get the money. Yeah. And they're like, ambush. And then they get shot and get like killed, And then the guys steal the money.
Oh.
And then, right then, Sammy looks back scared, and it freeze frames on him looking back all terrified. And then he goes, remember, the last words on the freeze frame are, remember, I'm a professional. You keep your word, I keep mine. And then right then you see the villain for a little second, like he's smoking a cigarette. You see like half of his face, like a little second, right, as he smokes a cigarette. Now cut to, the phone is ringing at the house, right? And he answers, and everybody clicks in, the wiring guys, and he goes, Mr. Ramos, you betrayed me. You killed my nephew. You took my money. Say goodbye to your daughter. And then right then the mom goes, no! And she grabs the phone, unplugs it, and she goes, this is Lisa Peter's mother. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about your nephew. This conversation is not being recorded. And then she starts speaking in Spanish, and then she tells him how she will do anything he wants. Just let her know, name a price, name whatever he wants. She will make sure she's only dealing with, you only be dealing with me from now on. And then he goes, oh, I'm sorry, Señorita Ramos. I wish we talked sooner, but it's already too late. Pff, hung up. No! She starts punching and smacking all the cops. Get the fuck out of my house!
They fucked that up like crazy.
Yeah, bro. And then she screams and storms off, right? And then the dad is, like just like that, right?
Yeah.
They take, they're taking Creasy to a dog hospital, all right? Rayburn wakes him up, and then he wakes up, and he's like, where are we? And he tells him that they moved him and blah, blah, blah. And then Creasy's like, what's the matter? And he goes, she's dead, Crease. She's dead. It's a mess. Someone hijacked the drop, and he grabs his necklace, and he's like, about trying like not to cry. And he goes, the kidnapper's nephew was killed, so he killed Peter. And then Denzel just shows his face. He's fucking pissed, all right? So right then the doctor tells telling the AFT guy, the cop guy who moved him, how his lung is collapsed. He has this wound, that wound. There's no way, he's going to need all this kind of treatment. He's in horrible condition, right? So the cop goes in, and he's showing Creasy pictures of people who were suspects of the crime. And Creasy's recognizing him with his eyes, but he's going, no. And they're like, do you recognize this person? And he's like, locking it and like, no. So cold, bro. So cold-blooded. And then they show him another one. No. Like, just, and then...
Ooh, just planning a revenge trip.
Already.
Jesus.
And so he like, they're showing him the pictures, and then he says, they tell him that these are all protected cops, bad cops, and they're protected by a brotherhood called La Hermandad. La Hermandad.
It's just like a cop protection agency.
Like, no, that's just like a secret brotherhood.
Okay.
That's what they call
bad
themselves.
Cops.
But they protect, yeah.
The Rotten Apples.
They're Rotten Apples.
Okay.
That's what they might as well, because they could
Rotten
be named the
Apples.
Rotten Apple.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Rayburn wakes up early, and he moves Creasy out the hospital. He sneaks him out, right?
Right.
And then as they're driving away, Creasy notices they're being followed. And then it's by that female reporter from earlier.
Okay.
And then he says how... Rich Walken says that he's going to take him to the border. He has people waiting for him there. They're going to sneak him in and take him to a hospital in San Diego.
Right.
And then he goes, no, I'm not going there. Take me to the crime scene. And he's like, okay. So Creasy takes him to the crime scene. He just scans it like a hawk. He's just looking at everything. He's just remembering everything. Flash cuts of him remembering everything that happened.
How everything went down, yeah.
And then he sees the flower on the ground that she gave him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's chalk outlines around it, and blah, blah, blah. And he's fucking pissed. Okay, he just shows his face again. He's pissed. Right then the reporter comes up to him. And she goes, everyone is looking for you. And then she goes, she found something across the street. And then it's a picture of him, and it has like devil shit on it, and how it's just like they put a curse on you to kill you, And then she goes, what are you going to do? And he goes, well, I'm going to leave. And then she goes, I can help you. There's a brotherhood called La Hermandad. They're protected. It's a high-level organized crime thing, And she goes, I'm trying to bring them down. You and Peter are victims. Let me help you bring this company, this organization down. And then she goes, what are you going to help me do? And she goes, well, you're a stranger here. You need friends to help you get around, because they know their way around, right?
Right.
And he goes, well, okay, friend, here's some advice. Tell your driver keep his distance next time. He walks off. And she just goes, see.
Such a badass.
Bro, he's so badass.
Yeah.
So Ray says that he'll be dead by nightfall in the shape he's in. His friends tell him, like, yo, you're bleeding out.
No chance for
You're
you.
just bleeding out.
No.
And then he looks at him and goes, you going to help me or not? And he goes, I'm done killing. You know that. And he goes, well, what do you need? He goes, and he tells him all the stuff that he needs. And he goes, you're talking about a war, Crease. And he goes, exactly. Can you help me? And he goes, yeah. And then he goes, all right, take me to the house first. I got to get the bullet. Like, he has to go get the bullet from earlier.
Right.
In the house. And then he has someone there, like one of the house groundskeeper there, take him into Peter's room. And everything is covered in plastic, like how they do with a dead person's room. And it's like, you can tell it hits him. Like, as he walks in, he's looking at it. And then he goes over to her notebook, and he gets the license number from earlier, right? And then as he's going through it, he sees that next to it is a poem that she written for him. It was called Creasy Bear. Yeah. And he reads the poem, and he's just trying not to cry. Yeah. And then right then the mom walks in, and he drops the book down. She goes, what are you doing here? And he goes, I came to find my Bible. And he's like, I couldn't find it. I figured it. He's like, I thought it might be in here. And then she goes, no, I'm sorry, I borrowed it. He goes, oh, don't worry, you could keep it. He's like, I'm sure you need it more than I do right now. And then she starts to break down, right? And she's crying, and she's like, I used to think about my whole life and just all about myself and all this stupid shit. And now I just don't know what to do. And she looks at him. She goes, well, what are you going to do? And he says, what I do best. I'm going to kill him. Down, right? And then she looks up and he goes,
and he puts on some sunglasses.
Pretty much.
And he jumps out the window.
He goes, anyone who profited from it, anyone involved, anyone who fucking looks at me, I'm going to kill every motherfucker every single person involved. I'm going to kill every single one of them. Mm-hmm. And then she looks up and she goes, you kill him. And then she gives him the teddy bear, kisses him on the cheek, walks out, and then the music goes, down, down. And then the next scene, he's like picking out all the ammunition, rocket launchers, guns, fucking grenades, all bombs, detonators, all kinds of shit, bro.
Fuck yeah.
Gadgets, like just Batman level
just
shit.
Archer level armory.
Crazy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Archer level arm. Just like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So Creasy calls the reporter lady and he says how he needs the name and address for the license number, right?
Right.
And then he gives it to her. She says, okay. And then she goes, oh, how do I reach you? He goes, don't worry, I'll call you. So the guy who moved him in is now the cop guy who moved him in a different hospital.
Yeah.
He's now yelling at her and telling her, you're helping an assassin. You can't do that. You're a reporter. You're getting mixed up in some shit. You don't want to get mixed up in blah, blah, blah. And then he asks her, then she's like, oh, don't worry about me. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. And then he goes, well, when can we sleep together again? And then she goes, we don't sleep. We fuck. And then she walks off.
Oh, nice answer.
But he helps her. And
right.
then he helps her give her like the license number and all the shit.
Right.
So the next scene, Denzel finds the place and where the car is from the movie, right?
Right.
That's doing all the kidnappings. Denzel, he waits for the guy. He's just sitting there waiting. And then finally the guy that's been doing all with the glasses and this little afro, that you've been seeing constantly, right?
Right.
He like undoes the car and he gets in, and right then Denzel slides in with him and he goes, hi. And he has the gun cocked right on his side. Mm-hmm. And then the guy goes, do you know who I am? All cocky. He's like, I'm a cop, like in Spanish. He says it like all cocky. And then Denzel goes, yeah, I know who you are. Drive. So the guy drives, right? And he drives him up into this beautiful mountain. Now they're at the top of this like mountain cliff. Right. And then Denzel knocks him out. The music starts playing like real hardcore, right? And then it kicks back in like just real, and then it plays for a while, and then you hear the guy like kind of screaming, and you hear tape and shit, and it's flash cuts again. Yeah. And then you see now Denzel taping the guy's hands to the steering wheel like this, where they're stuck up. Right. Okay. The fingers are up, and he can't move them or bend them or anything. And he's naked. Okay. And then the guy is all bloodied up and kind of beaten, and then Denzel gets in the car really calmly and then cuts the radio on, so the guitar goes down, cuts, and then it's like like really Mexican music starts playing.
That's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Oh, dude, it's so like the cut is great too, from just that to the music shit. Yeah. And then he goes because they just get you right back in the reality of it, right?
Of what the fuck is happening.
And then he goes, I'm gonna ask you some questions. You don't answer them truthfully, I cut your fingers off. And he rubs his knife on the guy's head and he goes, one by one. And the guy goes, okay. He goes, don't mess with me. He goes, you shouldn't be messing with me, bro. You know who I am. And he looks at him. He goes, a member of La Hermandad. He goes, correcto. And then he goes, oh, okay, right? And then he grabs his finger, and the guy goes, hey. And then he fucking slices one off, and just blood squirts off the thing. And then he takes those hot things from the car that used to be in the car that like cigarettes.
Yeah,
it's gruesome as shit.
Yeah.
It's gruesome, dog. They show it. The guy's just, and he's doing it so calm, too, you know? And then the guy goes, all right. What do you want to know? And then he goes, what happened? Tell me about the drop. And he goes, I don't know. We just, he goes, tell me what happened at the drop. He goes, I don't know. I was just ordered to take her. And he goes, by who? He goes, I don't know. Cuts off another one. The guy's like, now, full, just like, trying to break away, because now it's like, oh shit.
This guy
dude.
doesn't give a fuck that I'm
Two fingers down.
Hermandad.
Yeah. So he's like, I was just giving an order. I don't know by who. I just drop her off. And then he goes, we deliver them to the Guardians. It's all split up in groups. I don't know. And he goes, okay. And then he goes, who orders this? Who orders all this? And he goes, we call him La Voice. And he's the voice, right? And he goes, we don't know his name. And then Denzel writes it down. And he goes, he asked him many more questions. He goes, he asked him, so tell me, he takes his shades off, and the guy goes, tell me about the Guardians. Tell me about the Guardians, the guys you drop him off to. And the guy's like, and he's hitting his head on the windshield. He's like, I don't know. He goes, tell me about the Guardians. And he goes, look at me. I'm a professional. I'm a fucking professional. And the guy goes, and then Denzel goes, tell me about the Guardians. And then he goes, and then he doesn't say anything. And then Denzel doesn't break. And he fucking cuts one of his ears off. Right? And then right then the guy goes, he works at a rave. He has a mark on his left. He's saying it all in Spanish, but he has a mark on the left side of his face. And they all call him the butcher. Blah, blah, blah. You'll see him right when you get in there. That's all I know. And then he goes, okay, thank you. And then he goes, okay, wait. And then he pulls out the gun and he cocks it. He goes, wait. Give me one cigarette, please, one cigarette. And he goes, okay, my friend. And he lights a cigarette for him and he puts it in his mouth. And he goes, all right, off to the next life for you. Guarantee you won't be lonely. Pow! Kills him, pushes the car off the cliff.
Woo! Totally unnecessary, but definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah. And then as the car's falling, he voiceover of him going, revenge is a dish best served cold. Dope as fuck.
That's cold as shit.
Cold as shit, dude.
It's cold as shit.
Shows him next scene getting in a pool, and the blood is now coming out of his body. Because remember, he was shot. So blood, I'm talking about, so it's like, oh, you realize now, like, oh, remember that Daredevil scene where he's hurt, but he has that first fight scene, but you're like, it's so cool the whole time because you realize at the end of it, he was hurt, how hurt he was.
Yeah.
This is one of those, the whole time, everything's about to happen is nonstop, but you constantly remember, oh my God, he's bleeding out to death he's bleeding out to like 3 bullet wounds bleeding out, right? So he's getting in the pool and the blood's just coming out of him. He's just letting it come out, right?
Oh, so much blood.
So cops are at the crime scene, right? And they're going over it. And the one guy realizes now that he helped with this murder because he's like, oh, that's the license to the number that I gave the reporter. So the next scene, he runs off, right? The next scene, Denzel is now dressed like a gangster. Mm-hmm. Like bandana, like voodoo, kind of dressed poor. And he's at the rave place and it's packed. Right. Like people are going crazy, right? And then he goes through his way through it.
That was a great rave.
Thanks, buddy. He goes his way through it. And then when you see it, you're like, wow, that was it.
The hands up. All right.
They all got the lights and shit. He sees the guy with the face.
Right.
He flashes him a big, gigantic thing of cash. And the guy opens the door, right? And then he goes, you know this girl? And the guy goes, no. And then he puts a fucking gun right on his waist, and like a shotgun right at his side, like a sawed off. He goes, do you know this girl? And the guy goes, I don't know her. He goes, come with me. And he makes him walk through now they're going through the rave all the way to the back, right?
Right.
So they get to the back and Denzel pulls like a shotgun on this lady and the lady tries to run and he blasts one through the door and then she stops. So now he has her and this other guy, like with this white guy with long hair, and now they're in the Mexican guy with the thing on his face. Right. So now they're all like tied up and they're sitting there looking at him, right?
Right.
And he asks about the girl. Right? He goes, do y'all know this girl in Spanish? Nobody answers.
Yeah.
Okay? And then he blows the guys with the face, just blows them away immediately. Pow! They both scream, ah! Like, what the fuck? Even though they're tied up and they can't see, they just hear it. And they know that this guy is fucking dead now. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Guy with the thing on his face did not last long.
Not at all. He was in it for a second.
Yeah, I thought he was going to play a much bigger role.
Because they gave him a nickname.
Yeah.
Usually when they give you a nickname, like, oh, the butcher, okay.
Oh, shit. Who is he? Apparently no one. Yeah.
So the guy in the middle speaks clear English. He goes, hey, man, I'm from New Jersey. He goes, and Denzel goes, get the fuck out of here. You're from New Jersey? What you doing down here? You know? And the guy goes, man, I'm scared as shit. And he tells him, well, tell me what they do. Tell me everything. He goes, look, man, they just pay us $200 a week, $220 a week. They give it to us through this ATM card. And he gives it to him. And he goes, what's the PIN number? He goes, 4747. He goes, you wouldn't lie to me, would you? He goes, no, you wouldn't lie to me. He goes, you didn't kill her, did you? He goes, no, man. And then he shoots again. He goes, oh, man, you're making me fucking nervous, man. And he goes, yeah, I'm making you fucking nervous? Good. And he goes, well, who killed her? And he goes, either the boss or the brother. That's who does the killings. And then he goes, but you never see his face. And then he goes, all I know is he was yelling at the girl about the money getting stolen at the drop. And then he goes, who stole it? And he goes, that Fuentes guy, the lead guy. You know, and then right there,
the cop?
Mm-hmm, and then he takes the tape off his eyes. He goes, Fuentes, huh? Fuentes is the guy, the lieutenant. And then he goes, well, what did you do? And he goes, I just do what they tell me to do, man. He goes, oh, you do what they tell you to do. What did they tell you to say goodbye to her? He goes, what? Did you say goodbye to her? Oh man, come on, man. Say goodbye to her. Come on, man. Pow! Blows his fucking head off, dude. Now the old lady is like, right? This old Mexican lady.
Fuck.
So
Good God.
she says how he's asking her questions. He goes, tell me stuff, and and I'll let you live. And then she goes, no, he didn't say that. He goes, he says, okay, Mexican lady, I need you to just start talking, answering questions. And she just starts telling him what she knows. How when she saw the little girl, last time she saw the little girl, they took her lifeless body and then they put it in the brother's trunk. And then I recognize his voice, but it was definitely the boss and the brother.
Right.
And then he goes, well, I'll tell you what, you tell me how to find the boss. Tell me where the voice is. I'll let you live right now. And then she goes, I don't know. I promise, I don't know. And then he goes, and he's about to kill her. And she goes, I'll give you the girl. He goes, what? She goes, the girl, La Nina. You want the girl? He goes, what are you talking about? He holds the gun to her head. She goes, the girl, La Nina, is she here? The girl, you want the girl? And he's like, yeah, show me the girl. And he takes her back, and it's a different little girl. It's like this little Mexican girl that they had just killed. And she looks beat to shit. Too,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And then he's looking at her, and then right then he takes her and the Mexican lady, and then he makes like a makeshift bomb with all their shit back there, and he sets it on fire. And then he goes out into the rave, people are still dancing, and he just shoots in the air until people leave. And it takes like 4 shots because people are just partying with the shots.
Right.
You know what I mean? So finally he clears it all out, and then the building explodes, and then people are just partying outside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, can't stop. We already turned up at that.
Yeah, man.
How much ecstasy have you taken?
Yeah, just keep on turning up.
Right?
Yeah. Keep up the turn up.
Keep up the turn up. So Creasy,
Sounds like a trap lyric.
keep up the turn up.
Keep up the turn up. Keep up the turn up.
Keep up the turn up. I like that.
Yeah.
Creasy calls the reporter, right?
Right.
And he says how he found this girl, Camilla, and then she goes, oh my God, she was kidnapped last night.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he tells her where to meet her, blah, blah, blah. And then he asks her if she has banking connections when she gets there, and then he gives her the ATM card and says the PIN number is 4747. I need you to know who's putting I need to know who's putting money in that account. Somebody is, right?
Right.
And then she goes, well, what do you know? And then he goes, what do you know about Fuentes? And then she goes, well, 3 years ago, they found a dead body in his car. And then the arresting officer the next day was found dead. And he goes, okay. And then he gets up, and then he goes, where does he live? And then she goes, he lives in a judicial compound. You can't get to him. And he goes, okay. And he turns to walk off, and she goes, and he travels by motorcade. And then she goes, Creasy, he's protected better than the Mexican president. And then he goes, well, he's gonna fucking need it. And then he walks off.
Woo!
Gets back in the pool, bleeds out. All right.
So much blood.
So much blood.
So much blood. Yeah.
The next scene, I know you hate it.
Yeah.
The next scene, the guy is talking to Rabin, right? The cop guy who was moving him earlier, right?
Right.
And he tells him how Ray is telling him how Creasy's going to deliver more justice in 2 days than you guys can deliver in 10 years.
Right.
And just to stay out of his way. And then the cop guy goes, I want to help him, but I just got to understand him. And then he tells him how important PETA was to him. That's what Creasy does. I mean, the guy, he said, Creasy, how important PETA was to Creasy. And how he's going to make them wish they never touched a hair on their head.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, a man has to be an artist, right? A lot of men are artists. He goes, and the art can be whatever it wants. It just depends on how good he is at it.
Right.
Creasy's art is death.
Ooh.
And he's about to paint his masterpiece.
Ooh.
So, yo.
All right.
Scene ends,
Christopher Walken.
right?
Mm-hmm.
News lady and the cop guy, they get done fucking.
Mm-hmm.
And then she hands him the bank thing. She says, I need the bank cards, the accounts of who's putting the money in this shit. And he goes, okay. I love that they don't get into that. This is how she gets shit done, but this is what she's doing to get shit done. But she gets shit done.
She gets shit done. Yeah, you got to do it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's helping make the
She's
world
like
better.
trying to take down real organized crime.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
I was uncomfortable.
I literally thought you were cramping. I was like, oh, wow. Yes.
I was uncomfortable. I was a little uncomfortable. I was like, I'm going to move into a better position.
I thought you were cramping. I got excited.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, no, only you have sustained an injury on this podcast.
I know. I was like, fuck yeah.
No.
Too big. All right. So we see Denzel, right? And he's walking across a really busy intersection,
right.
and he's checking the angles, and he's got a bag in his hand. He just keeps looking at all the different angles.
Mm-hmm.
And then next scene, he busts into this old man's apartment, and the old man's like, like that. And he goes, oh, it's okay. And he has the gun, and he puts it down, and he goes, everything's fine. And then we see the Fuentes guy getting into his motorcade, and he's driving off, right? And then you see this old man with his wife, and he's holding his wife, and he goes to Denzel. He's like, forgiveness, my son. you must have forgiveness. And then Denzel goes, that's between them and God. It's my job to arrange the meeting. And then he's putting together a rocket launcher as he says this. All this cool shit, cut flashes at him, the motorcade, and he's just just frozen, bro, not moving. Flash, motorcade, flash, you know what I mean? And he's just ice cold on one spot waiting for him, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right when they finally get up to it, you see one of the guys go, like point out last second, too late. Shoot, he blows up the first one, goes downstairs, walks too, downstairs, right? Gets down there, puts one in everyone's head who's down there, of all the other people in the motorcade driving. Gets to the Fuentes guy's car. That guy gets out, kills his driver, gets in, puts the gun on him, says, shut up. Just
That's the first line? The first line is shut up?
No, he throws a hand grenade on one of the cars, and then he gets in the Fuentes' car, and then he doesn't say anything. He just drives. Because the Fuentes guy goes, ah, and he just drives off. Cold as shit.
Yeah, you deserve that, Fuentes, you piece of shit.
Takes him under a bridge.
Using your position.
Right.
For what? To fuck over a little girl?
Little from big money.
Yeah, I guess. When he says it like that, I kind of get where you're coming from.
Right, when I said it, I felt it too. Like, big money, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, who is this little girl? Little white girl?
Yeah, nobody knew she could act yet.
Yeah.
He takes him under a bridge.
Was she in anything before this? That was big? I thought she was like a bona fide star.
I knew her name before this. So
yeah, right? Yeah, like she was like a get for this movie.
Yeah, it was like a star-studded cast, even with her included.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rourke. It was like, oh, this is a big cast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Christopher Walken.
What was she in?
I don't remember. She was in some shit.
Well, I mean, I knew who she was.
Yeah,
she also has an all-time great name.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning's a movie star name, dude.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning's like perfect screen name.
She was great in the Harry Potters, too. Or not the Harry Potters.
She's not the Harry Potters. The fuck? Is she in Twilight?
The later ones.
Oh.
She's like a weird girl.
I figured you watched all those.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands. So he where are we?
We're at the Twilight movies.
He has him under a bridge, right?
Right.
And he still hears PETA screaming his name constantly.
Right.
And he can hear choppers kind of like looking for him.
Right.
They're under a bridge. And then the Fuentes guy is in his underwear and he's zip tied up to the car, like to the hood of his car.
Right.
Denzel is taking off latex gloves. He goes, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!" And then the guy's like, he's like, "See where we're at? We're at where the deal went bad, under the bridge, you know." And then he goes, the guy goes, "You heard of La Hermandad?" And then he goes, "Yeah, I heard of La Hermandad." And he goes, I'm president of La Hermandad." And then Denzel goes, "You're the president." "The president." Wow. I feel like he's impressed. Okay, wow. Okay. And he goes, well, takes the tape off his eyes, and then he says, well, let me show you what I got here. This, and he holds up a little white case. This is a charger. Prisoners use it to smuggle shit up their ass, drugs, things like that. He goes, you got this. This is a pencil detonator. This is a timer. C4, highly explosive. Put them together, you have a bomb. Okay? He goes, and then he leans in. That's what's in your ass right now.
Yes, I love it.
Dude, greatest movie scene of all time.
Ass bomb.
The greatest movie scene of all time. And one of my favorite movie scenes of all, I'm talking up there with like Dark Knight, Joker. It's one of the greatest movie scenes
Joker
of all
pencil
time.
Scene?
Yeah. Right up there. And when I say the line, you'll see why, okay?
Okay.
Puts a bomb in his ass. He goes, that's what's in your ass right now. He smiles.
I just love the ingenuity.
Yeah, he smiles, and the guy starts panicking, of course. Like, bro, and the movie's so gritty that you feel everything. Nothing feels cheesy or like, everything's like, oh my God, that's a bomb in this guy's asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How realistic.
Yeah, because the guy, his reaction is like that panic, And he goes,
like, oh my God, there's a bomb in my asshole.
Smiling, laughing, go, don't move. All right. And he goes, okay. And the guy freaks out and he goes, all right, see this? This is a cheap pager watch. It can send a message to your behind. So I'll send a page that your ass will receive in 5 minutes. And then he sends it, and then a timer comes up on the bottom of the screen. Okay? So this scene is actually 5 minutes long, which is badass, dude. Okay? So
this is so intense.
He counts down. He counts down
God.
because the timer never moves. So this is a 5 minute scene. He counts down. And as the guy he starts counting down, he goes like, all right, 4:59, 4:58, 4:57. And then the guy goes, I don't know anything. I don't know. He goes, okay, you don't know anything? And the guy goes, 420, 420, 419. He goes, all right, I got all the time in the world. You don't, but I do. And he leans on the car, and then the guy goes, relax, buddy, relax. And he goes, I'm relaxed. You're the one that needs to relax. And then the guy goes, I saw the opportunity and I got lucky. What opportunity? What happened? He goes, we had instructions and I just did my job. He goes, no, you had your men ready to kill and rob the drop scene. He says, let me guess, you've done it many times and it's worked all the time. And the guy goes, yes, bingo, I've done it many times. He goes, you kill lots of victims and while you're doing this, don't you? Yes, I kill lots of victims, but we come out the best way we can. And he goes, come out the best way you can. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And the guy goes, I have a gift for you. And he goes, what your gift? Tell me your gift. He goes, there was no 10 million. And Denzel goes, what? There was no money. And he laughs. He goes, yeah, we rob, only full of paper. Somebody stole the money before we got there.
Ooh.
And then, yeah,
that's
exactly.
an interesting twist.
Nice little twist. And then he goes, whoever, he goes, and then the guy goes, whoever took it before must have stole it before the exchange. And then at Ramos's house. And then he goes, well, who put the bags in the car? And the guy goes, the lawyer, Kalfas. It was the lawyer, Jordan Kalfas. And then they show him, cut to the Mickey Rourke guy switching the bags in the trunk. All right, so they show him doing it.
Ooh, Mickey Rourke, you in some shit.
Yo. And then he goes,
dude, from this to the wrestler, Mickey Rourke is a guy that just makes bad decisions.
Constantly. Good point. Ooh. Nice. I like that callback.
Yeah, kind of explains him, I feel.
Yeah. I guess this was before the wrestling.
This is how he lost contact with his daughter.
Yeah. This is on that way.
Yeah.
So he goes, right then the guy goes, listen, I'm sorry for the girl. I'm really sorry for the girl. But I'm a professional. You understand? I'm a professional. And then Denzel leans in and he taps on his head and he goes, everyone keeps saying it to me. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Everyone keeps fucking saying I'm a professional. I'm getting sick and tired of fucking hearing that. You understand me? I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Don't ever fucking say that again. And the guy's like, okay. And he goes, all right, well, I'm going to leave you here. And then the guy goes, what about me? He goes, what about you? What about you? And he goes, please, come on, last wish. One last wish, please. He goes, last wish? I wish you had more time. Walks away. The guy goes, no. Greatest movie line of all time. One of the greatest movie scenes of all time. And I put that movie scene up with any scene, nigga. Fuck you if you disagree. One of the best.
Ooh, them fighting words here.
Bro, I'm calling him out.
Fighting words. Deric says,
I wish you had more time. I can't wait for you to see it because you're like, oh, baby, that's cold blood.
And then his asshole explodes.
Explodes as the guy walks away putting on his suit jacket.
That's dope. And he walks away from the explosion slowly.
Oh, you better believe it. So, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. We're talking about Hollywood.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
So funny how like that scene in other movies we talk about how corny it is, but same shot. Depending on the movie, we're like, oh, that's corny and gay as shit. A good movie, we're like, oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
So weird how that works.
Cliches are cliches because they work.
Unless you use it wrong, then it's like you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're a dumbass. You couldn't make the thing that always works work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Creasy goes to the lawyer's house.
Yeah.
Right straight there. And right when he gets there, he notices his body's in the pool and his head is missing. So the pool's all blood. Guy's floating in it, no head. Okay. He pulls out his gun.
Is this the lawyer?
The lawyer. He's in the pool with no head.
Okay.
Okay. He walks in the house. There's a samurai sword on the table dripping with blood. So he's like, oh, this just happened.
Oh, God. Oh, the samurai are here.
So he goes through the lawyer's stuff and he sees that the lawyer had private offshore bank accounts with the father, the Sammy Ramos guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so he calls the reporter and he tells him to check those bank accounts and call him back immediately.
Right.
Okay. Reporter does so. He goes to the house. The wife is there. The husband's sitting dazed in the living room. The wife walks in because he walks in and she's like, oh, what's going on here? And he goes, that's what I want to know. What's going on? And he goes, she goes, huh? And he goes, Sam, you sit right there. I'm going to ask your wife a couple questions. If you fucking move or you make a sound, I'll snatch the life right out of you right in front of her. And then he's like, and now she's like, what? What's going on? What's going on? And then he goes, Lisa, tell me right now, did you have something to do with it? What? Did you have something to do with your daughter's murder? She's like, what are you talking about? And then he goes, your daughter got killed. You tell me now if you had something to do with it. And then right then the husband goes, she got killed because the ransom money got stolen. Shut up. You shut up. $2.5 million. He's like, that's what Kalfas had. That's what he put in an offshore bank account. There was another 2.5 million sent to somewhere else. Where's the other 5 million? Where's the other 5 million, Sam? And he's looking at him, you know, and then now the wife's like, wait, what? What's going on? What the fuck is going on? You know? And then the husband looking at her. And then she goes, she runs up to him, she hits him, she goes, what did you do? What did you do? And he goes, I didn't inherit a kingdom. I didn't inherit a kingdom. You know that. I inherited my father's gambling debts, his problems. She goes, what the fuck did you do? Be a man. She's hitting him. Be a man and say it. Be a fucking man. And he's like, I did it. I fucking did it. And she's like, you know, and he's looking at him like, motherfucker. And he goes, he said she would sit in a room and eat ice cream and watch cartoons. 2 days. He's crying. That's what he said. That fucking lawyer lied to me. So I killed him. That's where I was, honey. I just chopped his fucking head off. And then she's looking at him and she just can't believe it. She's like this, she can't believe it. And then she's like, he goes, honey, I did it for the 3 of us. I did it for the 3 of us. I'm so sorry, Lisa.
I kidnapped my daughter for her sake.
For the 3 of us.
Oh.
And then the wife goes, looks at Denzel, kill him or I will. Walks out. Denzel's smiling. Cold, that cold, like, assassin smile of like, oh, bro, I was going to kill you anyway. So, you know, I don't know if she knew that. I just needed, you can tell, he was like, I just needed to know if she knew if I needed to kill that bitch.
Yeah.
You were done, playboy.
Damn.
So, the Creasy stares at him, pulls out the gun, empties the chamber. He goes, you know, they say a bullet always tells the truth. And then he pulls out the bullet from earlier in his matchbox, the one he tried to kill himself with.
Right.
And he goes, it never lies. This one, it didn't work for me, Samuel, but maybe it'll work for you. Sets it down, walks out the room. The Samuel guy starts crying, cocks the gun. As he's walking out, bang! He leaves the house. He sees Peter as he leaves. He just sees Peter everywhere he goes, right? And then the next shot is the wife walking in on her dead husband and just seeing it. And even she, like, is still like, you know?
Yeah. Her life has changed. Crazy, like, just roller coaster of emotion.
Dude.
No up though. It's just constant down.
Right?
Just when you think she can't go any down, Steve, she's just.
Dude. So the reporter finds the location of the voice, right, for the bank, using the bank card, and they call him, and she says they were also able to get a picture of him, and then they talk to the ATF guy, and then he says how doing all this, they were able to find his house, bug his house, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So now they got him, right? They say now we can pursue him. So they are, and then she tells him that tomorrow they're gonna put his photo in the paper for the world to see, right? So that night, the brother of the voice, right, that guy, the brother, he's waiting for the reporter outside her home, right? He's got a shotgun. And then right then, the driver of the reporter, he opens their car door and then he runs up, bam, blasts the driver in the leg, puts it right to her head. He goes, if you value your life, you will not release those photos. And then he puts the gun away and leaves. And she drops everything. You know what I mean? Just panicking, right?
Right.
Next scene, Chrissy dips in the pool. He's letting the blood flow out still, you know? She calls him and she says how the voice's ex-wife, it was her putting the money in the bank. This is her address. And she told him to look at the paper today because she released the photo.
Ooh, badass.
Yes. Sam saw that and she's like, ooh, I love this reporter. I was like, I love her too. She was just a badass.
Badass. She's like,
doing her job, man.
Yeah.
Like the shit she was willing to do.
She's saying my life is definitely worth hundreds of lives.
Yeah, bringing out and the fact that we're this close to the organ, like we finally got the top guy's face. Oh no, at least if nothing else, everyone will see him, whether I die.
Yeah,
you know,
able to step outside herself.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, she was great.
Brave.
She killed it, and you won't recognize her, but she killed it in this movie. Yeah. So, right then, Denzel he scopes the place out. Right, he goes to the place. He's got a shotgun. He sees the brother come home. He waits for him. He watches him go inside. He waits by the gate until another like little boy of theirs goes inside, and then right then he rushes behind him, shotgun on the little boy's head, and he makes the little boy take him in the house. Cold blooded, bro. All right. So
I get it. He's like, oh, kid for kid.
Yeah. Right then, all the cops who are watching because they have the place bugged now, they panic because they're like, what the fuck is he doing? You know what I mean? Because and then they're like, wait, don't do anything. Just let's just see where this goes. We can't bust in now. You know what I mean? We got to get the main guy. You know, we can't just bust in because he's here. So he's now and he goes in, and then right when he takes the little kid inside, the mom starts screaming because she sees it, and there's other little kids in there, and she goes, ah, puta, puta, la puta, you know, and right then Denzel takes another bullet. The brother shoots him in the back. Goes right through. He takes it like a chair. Turns, tries to shoot him. The little brother escapes. The little brother hops in a van, tries to drive away, gets hit on his way out. Denzel walks out slowly, limping, bleeding, obviously, grabs him out the car.
More shots, yeah.
Yanks him back in the house. Okay?
Yeah.
Now they're back in the house. And then, so he goes, the wife is the voice of the wife, or the voice is the guy, the voice, his ex-wife, she's pregnant as shit, right? And the brother, he's hurting from the car wreck. And then he points at the picture of the paper and he goes, who is he? And then they don't answer. And then he puts a gun to the brother's head. Who is he? And then she goes, Daniel Rosa Sanchez. And then she goes, and this is his brother? And she goes, sí. He goes, what's his name? She goes, Aurelio. He goes, okay. And she goes, contact him. And then she goes, we page him. And then he calls us back. And then she goes, well, call him. She goes, well, we have to go to the roof. There's no signal here. So they go to the roof, right? Right then the cops are like, yo, once he calls, be ready to track the call, wherever the voice calls from, right? So Denzel, he's bleeding like crazy from the gun wound. You can just see the blood coming out. Yeah, the cop said, right then you hear a call comes in, and then Creasy answers his phone. He goes, Daniel. And then you hear him go, Senor Creasy, you know? And he goes, your brother don't look too good, Daniel. You know, I got him here. You want to negotiate? He goes, your girl's 8 months. You want to talk? And then he goes, you know, the most important thing to me in life is family. Would you agree? And he goes, I agree. He goes, good. Okay. How much money do you want? How much will it take to resolve this? And he goes, you know, hold on. I think your brother wants to speak to you. And then he hands his brother the phone, and then he holds his brother's hand up and then blows his fucking hand off with the shotgun. Bang! Ah! And then he goes, I don't want your fucking money. You hear me? I will take them apart piece by piece. Understand? I want you. Hangs up. Now it shows the Daniel guy, and he's like, because now he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm not used to dealing with people who don't want money.
Yeah. So Denzel, he's taking pills, right? And then he calls back, and the Daniel guy goes, I'm listening. No, the Daniel guy goes, okay, Creasy. He goes, I'm listening, Daniel. He goes, all right, a life for a life. He goes, whose life? What are you talking about? I want you. I will give you her life for your life. In exchange, I get my life back. Whose life? Whose life are you talking about? Peter. Peter's dead. What are you saying? I'm a businessman. A dead girl is nothing to me. So I give you a life for a life. I want proof. I want proof she's alive. Ask her the name of her bear. Ask her what her teddy bear's name is. And he hangs up. It shows the Daniel guy walk to a corner. You don't see who he's talking to. And he goes, what's your teddy bear's name? And then you don't hear anything. And then you see him call back, and he answers, and he goes, Creasy. She calls the bear Creasy Bear. Eyes get huge, right? He's like, oh, okay. And he goes, remember, a life for a life. And I want the life of my brother. He goes, okay, I'll give you your brother. You give me the girl. Where? And he tells him where. And then the cops go, fuck, we lost the signal, because they leave the roof.
Right.
What?
No, I'm like, this is insane.
Oh, yeah, dude. This movie, right, okay.
Yeah.
So Creasy calls.
This is a crazy climax.
Lisa at home, the mom.
Right.
And he goes, he goes, hello? And she goes, who? He goes, it's Creasy, me. Don't hang up, Lisa. Peter's alive. And she goes, I can't take this anymore, Creasy. I can't. And then he goes, listen, meet me here at this certain location, blah, blah, blah. Be there in 2 hours. And then he hangs up. And then she just looks miserable, like she can't take anymore.
Jesus. Yeah.
Right?
Leave her alone.
They drive into the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful green pastures. That's all you see.
Right.
Lisa pulls up next to Creasy. She gets out and she goes, well, where is she? Where is she? Where's my daughter? And then because she sees the bloody guy with the brother with the hand, and he's tied up, and he's like trying not to just stay alive because his hand is blown. He's just bleeding out, right? He tells her the situation, everything that's going on. He gives her the shotgun, and he goes, I'm going to go on that bridge to go get Peter. Anything goes wrong, you put this to this motherfucker's head and you kill him. And then he goes, okay. She's like, oh, what? And he goes, you don't let him loose until she is with you in your arms. and don't wait for me, okay? She goes, okay. He goes, you'll be all right. He smiles at her and he touches her shoulder. She's like, okay. And then he staggers and it takes him a while and sad music's playing as he staggers over the bridge. She keeps the gun on the bleeding, handless brother, right? She's crying. Creasy's just staggering across the bridge. It's real slow. And then all his henchmen are on the other side and they're all in cars, right? Like 4 or 5 cars, a bunch of henchmen, and they all have guns, like AK-47 and shit, and they're looking, right? And they're waiting. And then he stops halfway across the bridge and he kind of kneels. And you can see he's bleeding out. And then right then, they open the door to the car, and then a blindfolded PETA gets out, right? And then they take it off, and then she looks over and she sees him. Crazy! And it's the same scream from that's been playing in his head all movie.
Right.
And then she just sprints at him. She sprints, and then the music gets louder and increased. It's like this loud, intense music. You know, and then she's running, and then she just jumps on him and she hugs him. And then she's like, crazy, oh my God. And then they're hugging. And he goes, they didn't hurt you, did they? Did they hurt you? She goes, no, they didn't hurt me. He goes, okay. And then they smile and they kind of laugh at each other. And then he goes, your mother's over there waiting for you. I want you to go home, okay? Go home to her. And then she goes, well, where are you going? He goes, I'm going home too. And then she goes like, starts crying. He goes, no, I'm going to Blue Bayou. And then she starts crying really hard because they like both were singing that song earlier in the movie, you know?
Right.
And then he goes, I'm going to Blue Bayou. And then she cries and then she hugs him again, like really hard. And then he goes, I got something for you. And then he gives her a notebook back, right? The one he's been using for the license and to kill everyone.
Right.
And then she goes, I love you, Creasy. You love me too, don't you? And he goes, I do. He goes, okay, go. PETA, run. And then she starts running. And then intense music starts playing really intense. And then he watches. And then the mom has the brother and she's like crying really hard. And she waits until the daughter, PETA gets right up on her. And then she releases him and then she drops the shotgun and she just hugs him. And the little brother just starts running, right? And then he runs all the way across the bridge. And then she gets in the car. She's just holding her daughter really tight. And the music's playing really intense. And she's kissing her. And Creasy is watching, right? And then he's just holding his necklace, you know?
Yeah.
And then they finally start pointing all their guns at him, all the henchmen, as he walks across the bridge, and then he puts his hands up and he gets all the way to him and he staggers and he falls when he gets to him. And then they check him, right? They make sure he has nothing on him and then they throw him in the back of the car. You know? Mexican, like really intense Mexican music starts playing like like all this shit, right? And then right then PETA and Creasy, like they're looking at each other as they're both like getting in the car, like this last second. And then she's just like crying, like, you know? And then he's like smiling at her. And then he gets in. And then he like leans his head back and he's holding his necklace. And he's looking at this beautiful mountain, you know? And he's holding the necklace really tight. And then his eyes close. And then he drops the necklace and it falls. And he dies in the backseat as they drive off, right? And then it says John Creasy, dead, December 16, 2003. And then right then it shows in black and white the cop guy busting into the Daniel Voices guy house, and the Daniel Voices guy is in the pool, and he just fucking shoots him in the head. And then it says Daniel Sanchez, a.k.a. The Voice, was killed during the arrest, December 16th, 2003. Movie ends. Man on fucking fire.
Huh. Huh. I didn't expect a standoff where no one actually shoots.
Yeah, right? I love this movie, dude. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And I meant that one. This is actually in my top number ones of movies.
Your top number ones?
Like the list you.
Oh, this would be in your number one. This
This is like an actual great, not me saying that.
Okay. Okay, well, now I got to watch it. Because I was in it till the end.
Oh, you didn't like the ending?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I wanted more pew 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 pew.
I thought I liked that there was enough pew pew pew, and it ended on a different note. Well, I love the writing. I like that they just took the time to write a movie. You know what I mean?
Well, I gotta watch the movie and actually see.
Yeah.
Now,
but what do you think of what I told you so far?
I mean, so far. You mean there's more? No. I mean, the lines. That's what I'm excited. I mean, every time he says one of those dope lines, I'm like, oh shit, Denzel, there you are.
This movie was the shit. I want to know. I'm excited to see if you like it.
Yes,
I think you're definitely. I'm excited to see if you love it.
Okay.
There's no way if you don't like it, then that's interesting. But I'm excited to see if you don't love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you next week.